Hello and welcome to another episode of Dr. Viola Voilà Voices, a YouTube series and podcast produced here in gorgeous Ipswich, but we're not in the studio today. We're on location at Appleton Farms, and I'm joined by extra special guest Renee Gannon with the trustees. Renee, thank you so much for being here. Can you first just introduce yourself, your pronouns, and your title with the trustees?
Sure. Thank you so much, Dr. Viola Voilà, for having me. I'm very excited to be on today. My name is Renee Gannon. I'm the social media and digital content manager for the trustees, and my pronouns are they, them.
Yes. And through your work, what does that entail for the trustees?
So as the social media and digital content manager, I'm responsible for really managing and posting all of the social media for our statewide channels through the trustees. We're currently on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and
Twitter?
No, TikTok. Wow.
TikTok.
My brain just went. We're currently on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So we have 4 main channels that we focus our content. We do a mixture of photos, videos, and all kinds of stuff like that. So it's really based around telling stories. I feel like my position at the trustees is especially unique because I have the opportunity to work with a lot of different employees across a lot of different departments. I get to hear really interesting stories and get to learn about all the work that's being done all across the state in all different areas, and then the opportunity to retell those stories on our social. So it's really fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a very rewarding job.
I love that. And in terms of the content itself, what does that entail? Meaning, like the types of content you said. So project-based, you said you find a particular worker through the trustees and interview them, or is it kind of on your plate to decide that for the trustees? So maybe just explaining your process.
Sure. Well, so my position's part of the marketing team, and we have a content team within that. We meet every other week, and we identify different stories, projects, initiatives, things that are going on currently, and then we each coordinate with different people to pull stories together, to get historical information, to pull photos, to collect videos. It's all kind of like asset collection, creation, curation, and then some of it gets handed off to me, some of it I create myself, some of it is sent to me from other employees. It's really like kind of an all hands-on. We all work together to create the calendar in a cohesive way that marries with our our email marketing and our other initiatives that we do as well.
So we first met at a Trustees Pride event at the Crane Estate, where you led a little walkthrough with one of the Crane Estate attendees, and I just loved learning all the information about the land and the actual estate. And honestly, as a member of the LGBTQIA plus community here in Ipswich, I wasn't seeing very many organizations be so forthright and visible about having pride. So I really appreciated not only you reaching out, but just the fact that the trustees isn't afraid to post a rainbow or a trans flag is really meaningful to me. And so leading into your work with Trustees Pride, what does that entail for you and the organization, and what does it mean?
A lot of the initiatives come from our employee resource group, which is also known as an infinity group. We have 2 of them at the trustees. One of them is for LGBTQIA plus employees. It is a closed, confidential meeting that we have every 6 weeks for anyone that identifies in the community. And we talk about everything from the issues in the world to we plan events, we plan internal events for the organization like Lunch and Learns. We have been planned Pride Parade floats from Boston Pride and Carnival. We also advise internally to other employees best practices for LGBTQ language and other sensitive topics of that nature.
Yes, I love that. And I don't really know of that many organizations offering that.
No.
But I'm also a music teacher, so. And what I appreciated too, just because we filmed the piece at the Roaring Twenties party at the Crane Estate, I really appreciated how you focused in on the diversity, but you didn't really even have to. There was something about the event like you kind of mentioned it and it brought it up in my mind. It might just be the marketing in the past. Like it did seem heavily white, like represented. But then when we were there, I was surprised too by just how diverse the population was. So just the fact of you highlighting that with trustees, it just makes members of the community like me just feel like, oh, okay, I can go to these events that aren't necessarily marketed as Pride events, but I'll have my people there as well. And that's really important too.
Yeah, and that's kind of the goal for us is to take a look at any trustees event anywhere and be like, I would feel comfortable coming to this because I know this is an organization that accepts me and is inclusive and is welcoming to all people.
Yes. Yeah, because personally I was skeptical and a little nervous to go just because I had never been to the Crane Estate, and you always hear like, oh, how crazy busy it is, but honestly I think we went on Sunday and it was a gorgeous day, and like walking up and down where you are very visible, and like me and my partner were in full drag, like all I got was compliments and people wanting to stop and take photos with us, so I really loved it.
It was a great reaction. It was exactly how I hoped it would be.
Yes, yeah, it was amazing. So maybe for the future of just marketing and trustees, your work, what are you most excited for throughout the year?
Well, I think one thing we didn't talk about is I also created and launched an influencer program when I first started working here.
I want to know more about that.
Which I've built up a bit more, and it really was a way for us to reach outside audiences, to tell different types of stories from different perspectives, and kind of tap into different types of niches. So people like you in the program that really can speak to the LGBTQ audience, or an audience of people that love historical buildings, or that love like gardens, and get them out there visiting trustees' properties, creating content in their voice, but sharing, the voice of the trustees as well, and then, just getting the word out there, brand awareness for us, and new audiences and new stories. And so it's been a really great program that has grown, and we have a lot of wonderful partners now, and it's just very exciting to see, the effect that the influence has had in different ways for us.
Well, I know for me, like, there are just so many sites that I didn't know were here in Ipswich, but across the state altogether. So maybe you could talk more about that too, just like the different sites there are throughout the state.
Sure. Yeah. We have over 120 properties across the state, including on the islands. We have roughly 48,000 acres of land that we manage, all different types of properties, from farms to, woodlands, community parks, historic homes. So we're a member-supported organization. So membership is really one of the big things that, supports what we do. So if you want to support the organization, become a member. It's great. It has a lot of great perks and, provides access to our over 120 properties all across the state, gets you discounts to, all kinds of programs, special events. It's really just a great membership to have. And if you go to a little bit of a higher level, you even get the NARM, the reciprocal NARM benefits, which allows you access to like all kinds of museums and stuff all over the country.
What does NARM stand for?
It's the North American Reciprocal Museum program, I believe is what it stands for. But yeah, like if you wanted to go out to the Western Mass and go to the Clark, you would show them your trustee's membership card, and they would let you in without cost.
Is there a digital? Because I just got my card in the mail. Is there a digital version?
Well, you have your number is your digital card.
So as long as you have the number.
Yeah.
It's like, do I have to keep this in my wallet?
I mean, you should, but yeah, as long as you have the number, you're good.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So so we just launched our 5-year strategic plan for Everyone Forever. It's very exciting. I'm very excited for it. It's really conservation forward. There's some big plans to conserve, up to 20,000 more acres of land in the next 5 years, which is a huge goal, but I think we can do it. Under Katie's leadership, Katie Theoharides is our president and CEO. The pillars of the new 5-year strategic plan are accelerate conservation, elevate stewardship, inspire climate hope, welcome and connect people, and evolve our organization.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm very excited. I've already, taken those as like influence in my social moving forward, adjusting my social strategy to, include aspects of those 5 pillars, highlighting, the stories of stewardship and all the conservation work that we've been doing all over the state. And there is a lot of it going on, which is really great.
I love that. what gets you up every day, or what energizes you in terms of your work?
I love my job, and like I said before, it's a very unique job. It gets me out. I get to go visit properties and create beautiful content, and also to be a champion for the LGBTQ community through my work. It's important to me. I've been, I think, championing. I have been Wow, that word is
Championing.
I can't. It's
it is
like
a hard
stuck
word.
backwards. I've been an advocate for the LGBTQ community since I came out.
Yeah.
And so I want to continue to do that work. It's what inspires me. I think it's really important for queer people, to have safe spaces, and I want the trustees I want queer people to see the trustees as a safe space that they can come to, that they can find respite in nature. I think it's really important for mental health to spend time in nature, and so that's my hope, and that's kind of what drives me, and what I feel most passionate about.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're doing the work. I don't know if it's just me, but just seeing you at other Pride events throughout the North Shore, like just showing up and advocating like you do. And I think I mentioned to you too, just like, I love just strong LGBTQIA presences, like in power of these organizations or influencing. And really, yeah, like just making it so much more inclusive and feeling safe throughout the North Shore, which I have felt. So I just want to thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yes. So tell me more about the mission of the trustees, or what you view as its importance and its impact on the community.
The trustees preserve for public use and enjoyment places of exceptional scenic, historical, and ecological value. And I would say that's probably the most important aspect of what we do, is to conserve and protect the land.
I love that. So that's the importance of the trustees. What is in the future of the organization?
I see the trustees continuing its great work under the leadership of Katie Theoharides, our president and CEO. And our new 5-year strategic plan currently calls for some big goals, including an increase of 12,000 acres of conserved land across the state of Massachusetts, adding 8 new properties to our portfolio, and adding an additional 20% of reserved space for community gardens in and around the Boston area. So pretty big goals, but I think as an organization, if anyone can do it, the trustees can.
Yes. Well, I hate favorites.
Yeah.
So Renee, if you had to pick maybe a few of maybe just trustees sites across the state that either you have like a core memory of, or just like, I don't know, that makes you warm and fuzzy inside. Like, what sites could you list off for someone who maybe has never been to a trustee site?
Oh, okay. This is a great one. There's so many good ones, but I do have a few visits that I've had that have been like really special for me. One of them is Doan's Falls, which is in Royalston, Mass. It's like north central part of the state, kind of closer to like the New Hampshire border. It's just a beautiful hike up to a waterfall. You really just can't go wrong with
Easy
that.
hike?
It's a pretty easy hike.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few different trails. There's like connecting trails, so you can like go for a longer hike if you want, or you could just do like the short waterfall loop and just sit.
Can I
and
drive to the waterfall and just take my pick?
You can't drive, but it's a short walk down a little hill to get there, so you could totally do it. And then I would say we have a mid-century modern bed and breakfast out in Williamstown called Field Farm, which is just one of the most amazing places. It has views of Mount Greylock. It's surrounded by like the most beautiful landscape. There's trails. It's all like authentic mid-century art and architecture all throughout the building. It's just a really cool place to stay. And then
That's where my family's from, and I've never even been, so I need to
go. You definitely need to go. And then, of course, I love Appleton Farms. I always find myself coming back here. It's just such a unique place. It's so beautiful, especially at this time of year. Walking through the trails in the fall and, seeing the cows like roaming on the hillside. It's just very like idyllic, and it just feels meditative for me. I just come and kind of forget everything and just be one with nature when I'm here.
I love that. And I'm excited that we will be joined by another special guest, Michael, who will speak more about the Appleton Farms and what it has to offer. Well, thank you. I'm joined by another special guest, Michael, here with Appleton Farms, to tell us a little bit more about himself and about the site, specifically Appleton Farm. So, Michael, can you please introduce yourself, your official role here at Appleton, and maybe how you got started?
Sure, yeah, I'm Mike Walker. I'm the School and Youth Programs Manager here. Heading up on my third year, finishing my third year in the job. So I've been an educator for a long time and really wanted to move into conservation several years ago after moving to Ipswich, and that brought me to the trustees. And so I did a year at Crane, and then I moved over here, and so I'm responsible for education programming, including camps, vacation week camps, summer camps, field trips, other types of guided experiences pertaining to farm-based education and wild ecology here on the farm.
Oh, I love that. And as an early childhood educator myself, I teach music. I'm a Dr. Viola. I gravitate towards people who are educators and, yeah, just love serving the youth. So what is it about your job that you particularly like? And maybe, yeah, what gets you up every morning in terms of your work?
The best part of it, hands down, is spending time in nature and in the farm with young learners. But I enjoy learners of all ages. As it happens, we tend to weight a little more heavily in favor of younger learners. So between preschool and junior high, I think form kind of the big foundation of our constituencies. But we do serve young adults and high school students, college students, and even adults in more limited ways. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing like getting out and being able to get your hands dirty with kids and have them learn in a hands-on, experiential way. That's what we're all about in our approach to educating young people about the environment and our farm.
Yeah, I love it. Honestly, I grew up as a Boy Scout, but in Arizona, so there weren't really many opportunities like Appleton Farms around where I was living to like get out in nature.
Yeah.
But as a Boy Scout, I traveled a lot too. But when I arrived here today, I saw the class, and I figured that was probably you on that tour. So if you could speak more to, yeah, like your offerings that you do, and what are you specifically doing throughout the year, and then maybe some specifics about the camps.
Sure. Yeah, we through the school year mostly focused on field trips for all manner of schools and sometimes non-school groups like Girl Scouts and others. So they come, and typically the trips are focused on sustainable food production in some way, but some of them have more of a wildlife focus. And so that occupies a lot of our time during the year. Camp is a very big lift organizationally, so that takes a lot of planning and work over the course of pretty much the entire year. Summer camp, that is, and we serve up to 90 kids a week.
Oh, wow.
Here. There's a staff of, including me, about 16 that run the camp day in, day out. And we also do vacation week camps in February and April to offer families something to send their kids to do. So seasonality is really important to what we're doing at any given time. Because we have here both a working organic vegetable farm, a grass-fed beef cattle farm, and some other livestock too, alongside a wealth of various wild habitats, including wetlands, forests, meadows, we really can kind of spread out and do a lot of different types of instruction and exploration. So it's great for me too, because I didn't really, before I came here, have any professional connection to farming. I like growing things, but so I've had the blessing of a very steep learning curve over a couple of years, and I'm really blessed to have great colleagues in the farmers and in the ecologists who are constantly sharing their work with us, and so we try to get in close contact to what they're doing as much as possible when we bring, especially the young learners to the farm.
I love that. And in terms of families either that live in Ipswich or educators, because I have a lot of teacher friends too, what's the best way for them to reach out to Appleton Farms to offer one of your courses or go to one of your camps?
Everything's on the web.
Okay, yeah.
And so there's, for field trips, there's a form you can fill out to request a field trip. We have a sort of a menu of regular ones that we do, but we also create custom ones all the time, kind of taking a la carte different topics, depending on what teachers are doing, what their curricular needs are. And yeah, parents and families, I mean, this place is open every day of the year to people just come visit and wander around and experience the farm. But in terms of camps, yeah, it's all done online. So they can go and register. Registration for summer starts in January. The vacation week camps will be available sometime pretty soon. I don't have a hard date for that yet, but yeah.
Nice. And I know you spoke to a little bit of the offerings in terms of the production of Appleton Farms and the fact that it is a working farm. So could you speak more to, like what goes on here on a daily basis and maybe some of the other offerings just as like someone looking to buy goods or someone looking to have an experience on Appleton?
Yeah, for sure. So we're an organic vegetable farm, mostly feeding a CSA, community supported agriculture, so farm shares.
Yeah.
There are, I think, about 670 farm share members, and there's a waiting list to get on that main growing season CSA. And but you can also buy produce in the store that's grown here, and there are meat shares for meat production. So we do grass-fed beef here, and also raise pork, and in most years poultry. That's been suspended for a while, largely because of avian flu. And those are products you can buy in the store as well, and a couple other trustees' retail outlets. And so in terms of experiences, I mean, you can come and visit the property any day of the year and hike our trails, see cattle on pasture, hike through crop fields, and also there's lots of programming that's available. So upcoming, there are a number of culinary workshops, including some cocktail and holiday workshops, bread making, et cetera, et cetera.
And those are like one-day workshops?
Yeah, those are one-offs. They're run by our culinary team, who are very busy in production, and I don't want to neglect to mention that the many delicious things that they make are also available in the store, and they've really been just crushing it this year. They make the food is great, and people are just snatching it up. I mean, they're really selling out most of what they're making right now. So that's always available. So culinary workshops, and in December 9th to 13th is a 5-day makers artisanal fair. So that's going to be going on. We have guided hikes, including some owl prowls and other things coming in February. February's maple season, so you can come and do tours and learn about how maple syrup's produced, and again, eat yummy things containing maple that the kitchen has produced. So there's a lot going on most of the time, and then throughout the rest of the year, there are other events like Father's Day is a big one, Oktoberfest, Farm Days in the fall. And hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. So
that's okay.
But that's a pretty good representative offering. Yeah. So the culinary team is big. The store is open 6 days a week, and education programs are running year round. Farmers are working year round to grow us delicious food to eat. So
if I hate favorites, but if you had to pick, is there something during the year that you gravitate towards, or a particular good that you really like?
Wow.
You can name a few.
Okay. I mean, the daily baked stuff is good. The bread is fantastic. The cheddar scallion biscuits are amazing. The pot pies are to die for. So everything I've tasted that they've made has just been, really delicious. And then there's lots of stuff in the store I haven't tried that are, local artisanal makers for the most part. But yeah, in terms of what the kitchen produces is terrific. And then in terms of, the beef is grass-fed all its life, so it is delicious, and we're lucky as staff that we do occasionally get deposits in the staff meat freezer, or it's just something like a packaging has failed or something, and we get some freebies to take home, which is really nice. So yeah, and Favorite time of year, I think, has to be spring for me, or late spring, when everything's just starting to go off and the colors go crazy and the crop fields are really starting to come to life. And it's just a special time when the weather is at its best for my liking. But fall's quite beautiful too, I guess.
Yes. So we just missed your favorite time.
Yeah.
It's still gorgeous out. Yeah, I was roaming around, seeing the birds and the cows. It was gorgeous. In terms of Appleton Farm itself, just because I was curious as I was doing my own research about the history of the farm and how it became a trustee site. So if you could talk a little bit about, like how does a site become a trustee site, and specifically how is Appleton Farms, I don't know, unique? Because in terms of my own knowledge, it seems unique in that it's a farm, and that I think the family donated it. So maybe you could speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, so in general terms, I mean, I can speak in a general way about our land conservation and acquisition because we have a team that does that. Yeah. We may have properties like this one, and this is an exceptional one, donated entirely to us by owners. In this case, the Appletons were here for 9 generations, dating back to the 1630s. And Joan, the last surviving family member to Francis Appleton Jr., her husband, and Joan were the last Appleton family members to own it. And they decided, not having children to pass it on to in the 70s, that they were going to donate it to the trustees. So they planned for it. And FRI Jr. died much earlier than Joan did, and she was in 1998 actually transferred the ownership to the trustees, and she was still living on the property until 2006 when she passed. Like the Crane Estate, a wealthy family owned a big property, and this is the flagship farm in the trustees' portfolio. There are 4 or 5 other farms. This is the biggest one. It's also the biggest producer. Other properties, though, may be acquired through purchase with fundraising campaigns attending. There are lots of land conservation strategies and conservation restrictions that trustees may undertake with partners to get land conserved. And the land conservation team's been killing it. I mean, they've really gone above their average by like 5-fold this year.
We heard from Renee, 20,000, or not 20,000, 12,000.
So yeah, in this case, it was they planned to do it, and before Joan passed away, she actually made the move, and trustees have been operating it ever since. Yeah.
And then you could, maybe as a resident of Ipswich and a recent, not recent, 3 years is quite a long time, worker here at Appleton Farms, how do you view Appleton as, I don't know, like a cornerstone of the community, or how do you view it here in the community?
I mean, I view it as a place that grows local food and that also provides recreational opportunities, educational opportunities, and it's just a beautiful place to come and spend time. So we're lucky to have it, frankly. I mean, it would be nice if we could accommodate everybody who wants to be in the CSA, but there's only so much. Those guys grow like 10 to 15,000 pounds of vegetables a week during the growing season, which blows my mind. They're a team of like 10. But in terms of, what's special about it, it's right in our backyard. And the funny thing is that a lot of people I find, even that live really close by, they're not really aware that it's...
I live like a few miles down the road and I had no idea.
And it's truly, you can go cross-country skiing here in the winter, and the grass rides portion of the property on the other side of the railroad tracks, you can walk your dogs. I used to walk my dog over there. It's just a beautiful place to come and hike around, have a picnic, see livestock up close, pick up delicious food. So it's really kind of a gem, and it's big. It's at 1,000 acres, give or take a few. So there's a lot of territory to explore. The public can't access every single square foot of it because their pastures are off limits where livestock. Or
you get trapped behind a fence like we did.
But there's still so much that and the history is really interesting.
Can you say, like, off the top of your head, what's your favorite fact?
Well,
We were wondering if there were ghosts.
there are definite opinions on that topic.
You haven't experienced yourself.
This house, no, I have not experienced myself, but I have been regaled with tales about this farmhouse, which dates back to the 1790s, about Jimmy's barn, the CSA barn, which has had windows screwed shut that magically reopened again, told me by the farmer himself. Farmer Andrew told me that story, so I'm inclined to believe it.
That's like someone didn't just break in.
I like to think too, they're sort of like friendly spirits. Like I always sort of feel like somebody like Joan, who gifted this place to all of us, is still kind of out walking the property. I mean, there's a memorial to her over on the other side, but I sort of, when I've led things like a full moon hike and we're out in the middle of a crop field at a crossroads, it's sort of like that's when I invoke Joan's spirit, that she's walking among us, you know. So, yeah, in terms of the history, otherwise, I just, you know, it's one of those interesting evolutions that really started in a kind of a very hard scrabble clearing of land to just try to eke it out and make it work as a working farm, because they really would have had to do a ton of work to clear forest, but the lumber would have been a source of income for them. And the way that over time it evolved from primarily a working family farm / estate to being chopped up among a lot of different owners and then reconsolidated as the Appletons became more professionalized as a family and more consolidated back again in the 19th century, and becoming sort of a gentleman's farm, what they called sort of a country getaway for them to come and do horseback riding and stuff. So it's always it's always a working farm in some fashion. But for the Appletons themselves, it became sort of evolved into more of a recreational and country retreat, if you will. So, and those are dot the landscape, you know, all over. I mean, the Crane Estate's kind of another example of that type of getaway, humble getaway, if you will.
I love that. And maybe to wrap this up, I always end with maybe the future or what you're excited for in terms of your work here at Appleton Farms, or how would you imagine the future of Appleton Farms looking, or something you're excited about?
Yeah, I would love to see, and we are hoping to expand our footprint in terms of how we do education. There are a number of older structures on the farm that aren't really fully used. It would take a lot of money to renovate and make them suitable for that purpose, but there are really good models at some other places regionally in New England where farm-based education work is going on working farms, but that have long history of, again, run by nonprofits like the trustees. And so emulating the work of a place like Shelburne Farms in Vermont or Wolf's Neck in Maine is sort of how we imagine we would like to see our work evolve here. And then, I mean, as far as the farming operations go, I mean, that would be a question for the farmers themselves, but I'd just love to see it continue to be a working, producing farm, growing food for, mostly for local people. Yeah, as far as the rest of our offerings, I mean, I think there's a big move to try to take stock of what kind of passive visitor experiences are available, and guided visitor experiences are available. So I'd expect us to keep, you know, trying to be creative and bring new people to the property, to welcome people to the property who maybe have not felt they were welcome at a place like this, or out in nature. You know, we want to address the nature gap and try to make our work inclusive and bring in people from, you know, all around this area, not just, you know, local Ipswich folks, though of course everyone's welcome, as I said, any day of the year. So that's a a big goal of ours, and as an organization, but also as a single property. You know, we want to keep expanding our audiences and make sure that everyone who is within striking distance knows that they're welcome to come here. This is a place for all of us to enjoy.
Well, you hit someone today. And it's been such a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah,
and
thanks so much.
Yeah, just how, I don't know, excited you are about Appleton Farms, and just, yeah, being able to learn a little bit about it and experience it today. I'm definitely excited and feel welcomed here. So I just
Great.
want to thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Come join us. Yeah, everybody who's watching.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining for another episode of Dr. Viola Voilà Voices. Join next time for another episode.